Roundtable on this Sunday, 20th July, 11 a.m. Happy that you have been part of this session online. Just click if I'm loud and clear and audio and video is visible. Just want to know whether it is live on the platform. If you're online, just put a yes in the comment section and YouTube section. Okay. So today's session is more going to be why do women struggle to climb the corporate ladder? Because this is something which we've been discussing a lot many times on whether an equal opportunity is being given to the women in our corporates. So that's the reason we want to have this particular roundtable with expert panel members. So you're watching this as GS Kumar Job Talks. We are regularly doing a LinkedIn Live on Sunday 11 a.m. on multiple topics with related to job talks, career advice, layoffs, hiring, and multiple other topics in the entire job aspect arena. So myself, GS Kumar from the city of Bangalore, a job hunt coach, LinkedIn marketing trainer, and consultant. So today's discussion is going to be more towards a roundtable opinion, career advice, or the aspect which practically being seen by a lot of people will be discussed today. So a couple of insights we want to dive deep into before we go into a roundtable. So women's representation in leadership roles, in especially in Indian companies, seems to be like little disproportionate. Going with this kind of a statistics. So I'll just read out a couple of statistics, and then it might be a surprise to a lot of people that even today at 2025 we have this kind of practical issues in terms of women in leadership. Number one, only 18.3% of senior roles were held by women in 2024, which was like 16.6% in 2016. So if you look at the difference between 2016 and 24, it is hardly 2% or less than 2%. Number two, just 14.08% of key managerial personnel are women, with only 9 women CEOs in the Nifty 200. Number leadership hiring of women declined from 27.4% to 23.2%, comparing to 2020 and 2024. So even though if you see large number of CHRO promotions, CFO promotions, there are a lot of designation promotion which is happening. The statistics looks little hard, which is a very surprising factor, because anywhere we see women all the place, but inside story is little down stages. So to discuss this, we have incredible panel members who have joined us on a Sunday. Let me open. All right, so welcome all the panel members, starting from, we have Pushpalata, Head Talent Acquisition and Talent Enablement, YMO, and Dr. Kirti Balasundaram, Founder and Managing Director, Global Knowledge Hub, Coimbatore, Sonali Datta, Founder, Humanize, Bangalore, Sampath Arni Ravi, Assistant Manager, TEA, Bangalore, Ruth Priyadarshini, Senior Talent Acquisition Specialist, Bounties, Chennai, Bhairavi Rajesh, Executive Resilience Coach, Founder of Lifecraft Hub, Bangalore, Geetika Gupta, Founder, Search Buddies, Bangalore, Radhika Girimaji, Associate Manager HR, MMS Holdings, Bangalore. Happy to host you, all of you today, and thank you so much for spending your Sunday time. Being a woman, you will have a lot of family responsibilities, but thank you so much for having this dedicated session for our own audience who have a lot of struggles in the entire job arena. So we will discuss one by one on multi-dimensional areas, which is a concern for many of the things. So I'll start with Pushpalata on certain very important aspect or concern that will be like gender bias in promotions and leadership selection. So this is begin being a gossip everywhere that whenever we are going for a promotion, there is a alternatives whether to promote men or women in terms of the next level, especially leadership. So I just want to understand like your introduction. What do you do? And from there, we will try to see what are all aspects we will go with that. So let me understand what do you do and your introduction, please.
Thank you, Kumar. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, everyone. It is really interesting to see that you have taken this time and come here to learn something. And it is my privilege and honor to be with all of you and share my experience. I come with a little over 2 decades of work experience in the space of talent acquisition and human resources development. Currently, I'm leading the talent function for a CRM, tech CRM SaaS based organization called Vimo, which is in the market for a little over 13 years. We are the organization that enable large banks to manage their sales cycle. Think of big three banks in India: ICICI, Axis Bank, HDFC. They all use our product to enable their business. Coming back to my work, people, enablement, diversity, inclusion has been the cornerstone of my work. I've, I've been in innumerable interviews where the candidates have gone through discussions, and I'm playing the role where we are debriefing the entire experience. The bias starts from there. Let me give you an example. When a woman is assertive, she gets labeled as maybe this person is way too aggressive or emotional. When a man is assertive, the man gets labeled as collaboration. The bias starts from there. For some reason, we're all wired like this. The research says men often get feedback for their potential, whereas women always get feedback for performance. In fact, the rate of feedback women get is 2.5 times more than what men get. So we can start understanding how is this happening? Why is this happening? It could be demeanor, it could be the style of speaking, it could be the style of anything that you do, women immediately get feedback. The same behavior is appreciated when it is done by man. We are not here to actually bash anybody. The world needs both of us. I'm a big fan of Warren Buffett. He says all women, any a single woman that we lose, it is so much of loss for the entire community, to the country. So now there is bias, whether you want it or not, there is bias. So what do we do about this? Like I said, right from the interview until the promotion, this is also something to do with women. Women don't ask for it. Women don't fight for their promotion. They expect somebody else to come and rescue them. Whenever we are discussing promotions, when it comes to women, even when we propose, you're ready, you should take up this particular role, they hesitate. There's always this fear in the mind that I'm not ready yet.
Yes,
Whereas
yes.
man, even if it is some unknown territory, unknown charters, the man just raises hand and says, I'll give. So these are some practical problems. So now let's go back and see what should women do to ensure they are not passed over for the promotion right from the time that you've started your work. In fact, your entire connection should start even before you start but that particular role or job. Either you're moving internally or you're joining an organization from outside. Build connections. Try to identify who is your board of directors. You have to build your own board of directors in the organization. There are good situations, there are good experiences, there are not so great interactions. Everything happens for a reason. When something like that happens, you know there is somebody fighting for you in that particular room where you are not there, not present. So that board of directors is very, very important. Second, start listing down all the achievements that you have actually done. It might sound very trivial to you, but just put it there. Prepare a tracker, just keep putting it over there. Every time you have a check in with your mentor, you have a check in with your manager, validate what do they think of your achievements. Which one of them is something that you can highlight? The third, within the organization, continue seeking for stretch assignments. There's a lot of work to do, which is on top of your current role. You're also asking for more, but don't look that as a challenge. Look that as an opportunity. Wherever there's an opportunity, raise your hand and say, I will do it. For example, when I was in the organization at Walmart, I was leading the entire talent acquisition function. While doing that, I also went ahead and I raised my hand to manage all the data for the function within the organization. Unknown area. That's when I learned a little more about Excel formulas. That's when I even got to know about Tableau, Power BI, etc. So when there was an international role that came up, I was the first choice, and it was so easy for me to move internally. And what did that mean? The international opportunity exposed me to a broader leadership in the US. I was one of the people who traveled to Bentonville, represented India over there. I had an audience of the CEO of Walmart. I met him and I was able to talk about my project. So you never know. My advice is, don't do anything because you want some return out of it. Do it because you like it. Do it because that energizes you. Do it because you really like it. The ROI of that is going to be tremendous. Moving on to the next.
Pushpa. I mean, I understand that these are the challenges which every woman faces in an organization when there is a point of going to the next level. Let's say from manager to senior manager, manager to GM, all this kind of stuff. So, what exactly is the self-rejection phase which happens for a woman when in terms of going to a leadership? Is it like a travel or over responsibilities or any other self-rejection? Like you said, upskilling is one of the things where it got elevated from one point to another point. So, being like 2 decades of experience, do you see any self-rejection from the women's side who's going to the next level?
Absolutely, Kumar. That's an amazing, segue to this particular conversation. Women often goes through women get hit by three different waves. What we call it as, one is the first mobility wave. Okay, a woman chooses a career, settles in a city, and then you're asked to travel or relocate to a different city. But I mean, some women are okay upfront and they're okay to do it, and some find it a little challenging. That's the mobility wave. Maternity wave. When women have all most of the women choose to be mothers as well. At that point of time, there's that hesitation that, okay, if I choose to take this time off to take care of my motherhood, will I be overlooked for my promotion? So because of my promotion, let me delay this, or because I'm going to do this, let me say no to the promotion. This is the second one. Then we all know the entire matrimony. So, women often find it extremely challenging to find a partner who's extremely supportive of women's ambition. Again, there's a bit of a stereotypical statement here. Not all men are okay with a very over ambitious women. This is also one of the challenge, and then the family comes into the picture. Does the women have a supportive family, etc.? So they will end up making family a priority than their own career aspirations. So now, coming back to how supportive are the parents, how supportive are in-laws, how supportive is the spouse. So many angles you have to look at when a woman has to say yes for that big role.
Correct, correct, correct. So, being having seen a lot of people in the areas of operation, maybe you could have also promoted or rejected somebody. Like, what are the checklists a woman should have when it comes to bias in promotions? Like, let's say there is a competition between a men and women going to the GM level of post. So, as coming with a strong experience in this space, and you yourself are as a TA professional for a very very long time, what is the advice, best advice or checklist you want to give to the audience? Okay, when you're going for a promotion, these are the preparatory aspect you should have, so that they take this as a key takeaway from your experience.
Interesting question, Kumar. There's a saying, which I personally believe: you don't go and dig a well because you're thirsty. You have to keep that well ready for you. So first, build your, like I already said, build your board of directors. Build people who are going to speak about you when you're not there in that room, because we all know how the promotions happen. Somebody else is making that decision for you. And most importantly, you yourself should have a cross functional connections. Invest, if not 100% time, invest at least 5 to 10% time on a weekly basis to build your own brand within the organization. You have to take that time. Nobody knows what you are capable of, what you can achieve, and what you have already done, unless you create a showcase of your work. Thanks to our current times, we have amazing social media presence. Leverage LinkedIn, leverage Reels to talk about your work, write blogs, talk about your ideas on Medium. If you're a techie, you can go and leverage GitHub, contribute to the open source, tech meetups, and wherever. And then most importantly, as you are moving up, ensure you take people along with you. Let's say, let me give you one simple example. If your document says, I would like to promote this person because this person has helped start 10 different user groups in the organization. This doesn't require anybody's permission. You're mentoring, coaching junior engineers, junior people who are coming into the organization. Another easy example, there each company, every company keeps hiring people. On the onboarding day, you can volunteer. On the day when new people are joining, I would like to welcome them. I'd like to ensure that I'll do a small session on what the company's culture is all about. You don't need anybody's permission. Often people say, when I am also coaching people, when I give them these steps, immediately they look at the problems. I'm supposed to get an approval, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. I don't understand why people start looking at a solution into a problem, like converting the solution into problem. A solution is given, there's a problem, find thousand ways to find a solution to that. Once you get into that mindset, you will continue. shining. The checklist is build your board of directors, invest your time, at least 5% time to build your own brand in the organization. Most importantly, you need to have a visibility across teams. Whenever there is a feedback which is biased, you have to challenge it respectfully. Most importantly, apply even before you're 100% ready.
Fantastic. I think the very, very important key takeaway which I took is a little more proactiveness and preparation little earlier so that I know people get to know you, what you are doing, what are the actions you have did, so that it is more visible and it is being spoken in the management team. Okay, this person is doing a lot of things, so it creates a lot of visibility. I think that makes a lot of sense because the proactiveness is something missing both the genders, men and women, both the genders. And as you rightly said, only when we having the opportunity, we take something. Okay, so I've been paid for this, so I will do only this kind of. So rather, when it comes to leadership profile, it is more towards the proactiveness. What is that we have brought to the table that matters a lot. So I think it's a very, very valid key takeaway from this particular session. So thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your valuable contribution, for having this 2 decades of experience and giving a crux of what you have felt and all that. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. My pleasure. Wish you all the
Right.
best. And if there's anything, please reach out to Kumar. He's doing an amazing job, and we are here to help you. Over to you, Kumar.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So we started with gender bias and promotions and leadership selections, all that. So now we will talk about the most important factor, which is work-life balance and family responsibilities, which will be discussed by one of our keynote speaker. Let me put it on the spot. Yeah. Welcome, Dr. Kirti. So this is a very, very, very crucial and very resonating to everyone, work-life balance and family responsibilities. So just tell us about yourself. What do you do? Like, how do you think this particular aspect is going? But before that, I just want to know what you do. So from there, you can take it up.
Good morning, all of you. I respectfully thank uh, G.S. Kumar sir for inviting me on this wonderful topic. Since I'm sitting here on a Sunday morning, it is very important that my somebody in my family is also supporting me on the back. Hopefully, I am audible.
Loud and clear.
So I owe my thanks to my family members also in this occasion. So today's topic is very, very important, work-life balance for family responsibilities, particularly on an Indian context. If it had been on a Western country, that would be at a different way. But on an Indian context, that on various circumstances, women are on a climbing up a corporate ladder. It is not that easy. So, coming to my own experience, I have 2 decades of both academic and corporate experience, which I have handled with a hands-on experience in upskilling both women and also the third gender. Also, sometimes we have been left with this gender, and they have been facing across many hurdles in their life, not even the basic things which they require. So, I would like to add that also with your permission. So I proudly awarded to say that I have been awarded for this noble contribution for 3 times as a founder and director of Knowledge Navies. As a well-known balancing, professional and personal life can be challenging for sometimes for men and women both, and also for the third gender. When it comes to often facing to unique obstacles or a progression of additional emotional labor. Sometimes we don't talk about emotional labor, but that is more pricking or pain point for any women to be well explored by the society, by the company, or by the family members around us. So these challenges have to be discussed by me, and I have a couple of strategies which I have implemented personally and got win-win situations in my own journey on multiple roles and taking up things on juggling. I could say that juggling too many glass balls, women carry throughout their life, especially in leadership. even in a bigger role of leadership, like Indra Nui also stated in many ways, since she has been my inspiration. I've been heard from her many times. She's been called and questioned for so many things, since she has been headed up a famous
So,
MNC
Dr.
corporation.
Kirti,
So this is
yeah,
all about
I'll
me.
just work upon certain areas of focus because you're coming from 2 decades of experience. So, the
Okay.
first and foremost is how do
Yeah.
family responsibilities limit women's career growth? Like, is there any areas or
Mm.
pointers like these are all the limiting factors which you have seen in your own personal experience and seeing with maybe a lot of colleagues and friends who've been in the career later, they are very best at it, their own craft of it, but because of family responsibilities they were limiting. So which are all the family responsibilities which maybe a top 5 family responsibilities which is limiting? Maybe from there we can start the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, that is really nice question. Even a few of the pointers on this has been taken by my previous speaker. Like caregiving as a first role, naturally inborn in any women, whether it has been an educated or uneducated, whatsoever the family background, often bear with a disproportionate in this share of caregiving responsibilities, be it a children or elderly person or at the family, and their career advancement impacting on major portion on this, because it has been emotionally connected, and which has not been seen explicitly, so it can be understood only by the nuances which they face. For example, I could say that emotional labors repeatedly, I am stressing upon the emotional labors, because the modern women is facing up many other factors in the working place and also at the family, whatever the roles they play in it. So the additional roles they take, often they do into the multitasking, some of them on a online meeting, they will be attending that in a kitchen. I
Correct.
agree. I believe that most of the viewers or who have been participated in our live could say yes for this, because most of the time we have a setup for the meeting at the kitchen also during the holidays, or taking care of the baby, or a homework of a children during a meeting and online. They are forced to do that, because of so many factors which has been around us. And apart from this, the societal expectation is also more, since I said it has been set a context on Indian women empowerment. Traditional gender roles and expectations can limit on the rituals, the way in which the family follows and expects, and the domestic labor behind this family rituals, which really hinders the women careers and choice and aspirations. Many the time they like to transfer that, but that is not emotionally and physically not possible. And to make it this on a senior roles, late night works, or deadlines to be met. When there is a deadline, they need to work in the late nights. That's not been typically allowed, and sometimes that it's been stereotyped also. So meeting on a holidays, or when any company is especially demanded on networking, networking can be happen easily at the for the men, not only in the workplace, like a smoking area, or a trip or a party or anything. But these things are being strictly said no for a women, even they climb the laddership. And sometimes limited in support system, which is inadequate during their child's care, because that is emotionally connected with the women, which hinders or slows down their potential, what they're actually in. So this actually facilitates the sometimes on elderly care also. So being an Indian context, we are unavoidable, and we are being trained or taught in a perspective of having a, even though we have a nuclear family nowadays, the responsibilities that we take and the cohorts that we meet with the families is very close. Even we live in the different cities or different places for our own well-being and living habitat and all of that. The more important priorities of self-care sometimes some health issues for the women by themselves, or let it say like a hard toiled work of 6 days or 7 days a day. The eighth day, the women is really could able to take a rest. This actually exhibits the women's life to be challenged. I don't know how many of the men in the platform is will be agreed to us, like total 7 days of work are there, domestic labor. How many of them are ready to take up, chalo, I will take the 4 days of work, or you will take the 4 days of work and rest of the 3 days on me? How many of the men are also ready willfully? I'm not saying they are saying no, but then willfully taking it, it's really relieves the mental agony, and emotional labor has been stabilized and all of this. So that willful acceptance and the willful place of participation is more needed for a women to understand, or to have a the cohort system in a office environment. That's more important for the not only for the Gen Z, but also for the millennium and Gen X also, because the elderly person we care also into the Gen X generation, and millenniums are all our better halves. So that generation should also able to rewire their system and to relearn and unlearn the perspective that they have. So I would say these system will really help them to make this perspective in a better way to limit their women's career in the growth of Indian perspective, I believe.
Wonderful. I think very the topmost elements you have touched upon, like one is caregiving, traditional roles, and domestic labor, elderly care, and health issues, especially because comparing to women, I mean men, women has a lot of the other health issues which might be a hindrance in the entire career. I think very beautifully structurally you have given a pointers, the topmost pointers. So my one way of areas looking at is like what are the workplace policies in maybe in MNCs, maybe a startup, maybe in enterprises, is like a positive factor for women, or certain pointers you want, okay, there's some improvement needs to be made on this kind of a work, work policies, workplace policies. What are the elements which you can see, okay, should be some improvement in this kind of a policies? Do you have any list of areas which you want to convey to the startup or MNCs? Okay, these policies can be little more flexible or adopted. Do you have such kind of opinion?
Yeah, of course, that is a inevitable and part and parcel of this work life balance. My previous speaker has also been pointed on that, the flexible working hours, especially during the maternity period, because which is inevitable, unavoidable, and there is no replacement for that. Now, even though the technology science advancement happens, we need to go through that mostly 90% of the cases. 10% here and there we have some options for that, like surrogate mother or adoption process and all of that. But then also the contribution for the emotional labor is more important. So telecommunicating and flexible hours will really compress the work weeks. That will really help the women for a work life balance. To my personal experience, I've worked with few MNCs like Amazon. They absolutely fine to able to room for different shift hours, starting from early morning or to the mid of the day, or starting from mid of the day to late night. All these shifts and flexible working days has also been possible. Sometimes on Sundays, the better half or a family members would be available for the women to take care of the children. So that can be in one of the weekdays, that is working days, so that they will be able to manage it. The flexible maternity working hours is also very very important, because it is most important and which is not been avoided. So that is a period when women undergoes at most a support system is being needed, because they undergo pain, trauma, even for the newborn babies they need to support, because it's not been can't be can't be replaced by anybody else. So that's a case where really men need to understand. Not only the men, every other generations or genders should understand that she is undergone with a lot of trauma and pain, which really needs a support system. And also with the children care, the child care reimbursement, the paternal leave, the support system from the better half policies can also be supports the working mother. I believe that most of the MNC is able to do it, and some of the traditional conveying method of working labor, they'll not be able to understand in such a way. Even I encountered once in my career, when I've been promoted for a senior level role. My super boss has come back to me and asked, you had a lot of responsibilities at home, how are you able to take this also? They say in a very diplomatic way. That is where actually the pain point pricks, because women are need to be compared with the intellectual power, not with their vulnerability. So most of the life situations, the senior authorities or the super bosses should accepts and understand the pain, and be a support system, to be a inclusiveness on that. I could say that how many of the male boss are able to accept that if a female subordinate comes to say, my children is not keeping well, can I get a leave of urgency? So they always stereotype that and easily make a factual about it, like a newborn, a new mother, a young mother and a newly married is not being taken into the leadership role. They have a unwritten rule on that, and that's been still happening.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
parental leaves is also to be taken care, because women alone cannot take up this nuances of burdens in that. So paternal leave is also need to be equally contributed, so that that makes the hardened part of the stuff to be very easily and smoothly also, because they're potential enough to do it, but then the emotional support and the physical support which we arrive at the family members and also from the corporate level, they need to understand in such a way that we are all in the same cohorts, so that will really help them. Sometimes mentorship program is also be needed. Sometimes the boss will not be able to even accept or hear from a women employer about their guidance, or you know the excuses they make for on behalf of their children. They will not be able to say, for example, 1 hour of early leaving, or instead of having 5 days of work from office, one extra day of work from home. They'll not be even able to listen from us. Rather than approving, that is secondary part, but listening, that's very important for a women. They are most adjustable part of the creature, but then they should be listened in every single option. So that's very important for creating an opportunity for women in a workplace, because men can easily join and collaborate in any other platforms, but they need to discover and to find out a place, as my previous speaker said, they need to be prepared. Even the men have that particular stuffs to be done, but women needs an extra space of emotional acceptance by the co-workers and the workplaces. So that need to be done. Usually I have heard from my ancestors. They have been working from the militant and defense. They always, my grandfather always used to say, when men at the workplace should hear from women in such a way, not like an equivalent or opponent or people around above them. They should listen to the women in such a way how the men listen to his own child, his own girl child. How do we listen in such a way that the women should be heard in their workplace? Because I believe men and women are complementary to each other. We cannot replace one with the other. So with this, it's very important. The cohort or the flexible system that we make, and the emotional support and bonding and inclusiveness when we make, the workplace policies would be more supporting for a work-life balance of women and the people around us, I believe.
Wonderful. I think there are a lot of suggestion. Being a combination of a working woman and having a founder of a different company, you could have got a blend of ideas on how you can incorporate new things. Like One of our audience, Sangeeta, also putting it the foremost thing, the flexibility work hours is what she has been commenting a lot in this kind of thing. So I think the remote-based opportunities, hybrid opportunities will be a blessing for women in terms of getting into a career non-stop so that they work more and contribute to an organization. So if any of the startups or business owners are watching this, I think this is a keynote where they have to take that if you're employing a woman, consider remote-based opportunities or some flexibility in terms of workplaces, all that. So thank you so much for joining on a Sunday. Being a busy working woman, working entrepreneur, you must have only your Sunday to rest your mental ability. But you made it a point that you contribute to our audience. So thank you so much for that, and looking forward for more sessions in the upcoming sessions. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. That's my pleasure of having here, balancing both, as I said, emotional and physical labor, and also the monetary labor. Here, I suggesting this as a paramount for the safety, for the well-being of the family and the company's growth for a sustainable and inclusivity. So that's very important. So implementing such flexible working hours, as Sangeeta says, so building a support system is more important. So when the employers and the support of a women on a flexible work arrangements that includes a childcare, mentorship, and all of that, that will really creates a beautiful ecosystem for a healthiest growth and mindset. We would have been encountered recently that Japan is not getting married anymore because of their working hours. So such a situation should not be happen for our next generation. So men should also provide a space willfully, so that women should be grateful for the sustainable environment which has been provided. So that is how it works.
Thank you, thank you. It was super inspiring. I think we have given a good space on this particular time. Hope you enjoyed it and
Yeah,
had your pointers
yeah, of course.
conveyed to the audience. So I think there will be a lot of people who will be watching later after this live session, so who will be appreciating on that. So thank you so much for joining, and we will be
Thank you.
moving on to the next part of it. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So the crux of the matter is, I think the flexibility in work hours is what been resonated by the panel speaker and the audience as well. So this brings to the area of concern that there is a lot of lag in terms of mentorship and sponsorship or coaching or multiple areas where women might have some issues. Lack of clarity or self rejection is bound to happen in the entire career things. To discuss this, we have a keynote speaker, Radhika Girimaji. I'll just open her. Yeah, welcome, Radhika Girimaji. Like, I just want to understand what you do, where are you from? So from there, we'll take up this conversation.
Thank you, Kumar. Thank you for bringing up this important topic today. And I could resonate with so many things that my previous speakers spoke about, personally being a woman in a workspace. So I have a dual role at a company called MMS Holdings, which is a clinical research company. I take care of talent acquisition and HR role. And this is even more close to my heart because we are in the field of science, and we always keep advocating for women in science, which is even lower than women in technology or women in any other field. So I am actually very happy and proud to say that I come from a background where my organization is a woman-led organization. We have a lot of senior leaders who are women in positions of power, including our CEO. So I am happy and glad to have that kind of role models within my organization. I am from Bangalore and I've been here all my life. I have worked in with Reuters earlier, and now I am working in this pharmacy CRO space. So good to be on this platform today.
Great, great. Thanks for spending your Sunday with us. I just want to start with the area of concern, like why do women typically struggle for getting mentors? Because they have a lot of issues, but typically with their peer group, they will have a discussion, okay, this happened, that happened, I don't know what to do. Those kind of areas will be discussed with their similar like-minded colleagues or friends whom they discuss with, where they let out their stress. But do you think there is a lack of mentorship for senior roles, especially, let's say I have to move from a VP to a CHRO kind of a role? Is there a lack in mentorship, especially for Indian women?
So there are so few women on the top positions, right, that it becomes really hard to believe that we can also get to the top. I'm no way
Hmm.
saying that women can't have male mentors. Absolutely, we can. But it is
Okay.
inspiring and more relatable when you have your own kind. So, just if we want to go back to the data that you were mentioning earlier, 8% of S&P 500 CEOs are women, and in India, women have less than 2% representation at board level, which is really astonishing. Like you said, even though we keep seeing so many hirings and promotions to CHRO levels, but in the whole realm of things, it's just very less representation at top levels. Culturally, like many of the other speakers said, women bear the burden of family and caregiving, so it leaves very little time for networking, and that's the very much downside where you can't find mentors, because without networking, it's really difficult to find mentors. Even the informal networking methods that we have always typically excluded women, like the big boys clubs, the industry forums, or even the casual sutta breaks where women are not included. And there are a lot of things that happen during these casual breaks that people talk to, you get introduced, and women are kind of left out from these forums. Another key thing that is internal to us is women also many times have self limiting beliefs. Research has shown that men apply to jobs if the JD matches to their skills 50%, whereas women will not apply unless it matches a 90%. So, this is
Right.
something that we have ourselves, that's how we've been wired, maybe, and we have done this to ourselves. So, we need to change the thinking there. So it's a mix of a lot of factors, I would say, where women find it difficult to find mentors and sponsors, more importantly, not just mentors.
Yeah, so since you have crossed that path of, right from a fresher, then maybe a team leading role or an individual contributor, then move to a leadership role. So, with your personal experience, where all you see like, okay, I'm getting stuck here. If I have to get some ideas to fix it, or this is some blockage which is happening where I need a support. Have you spotlighted those blind spots? Okay, these are all the areas generally women need some mentorship.
Yes, we definitely need mentors uh, at every step of our career. And if you're not able to find a mentor, at least have like a partner, even in your peer, who could be your like a sounding board. So that helps a lot. So a couple of things, maybe if I have to say, look for inspiration within your organization department. If that's not possible, look outside, far and wide. You could read a book, you could listen to podcasts, there are quite a few which kind of focus on how you can broaden your horizon and stuff. And remember that leadership inspiration need not really come from the corporate sector itself. It could be from anywhere, even in your personal life, even just in our business world, in how things are going around the world, even women in politics and stuff like that. One of the things that we must do is networking, which I think everyone's emphasizing, but somehow it doesn't come naturally to most women, and we kind of struggle. But it's not a big deal. There's nothing right or wrong in networking. So learn to network in alumni groups, WhatsApp forums, which are so common nowadays. And whatever level we are at, we should try to help others. We have come from one level to where we are today, so we have crossed certain hurdles. So provide those resources that you have and share your learnings with someone who is going through that not only helps them but builds your own confidence too. So that's very key. Take people along in your journey. And as we grow, we should seek sponsorship more than mentorship. And that is the real game, right? So, if I just want to briefly differentiate the two, mentorship is when people are giving you advice and they're showing you the way forward. But sponsorship is someone who will really advocate for you and open those doors for you which you cannot open yourself. So if there's a meeting that you are not invited to and they are in the meeting, they are there for you and they will advocate for you. So that's the real game, and we need to find those sponsors.
Fantastic. I think that was my second point where I wanted to discuss, but I think proactively you've disclosed the areas of concern. And you've been repeatedly stressing upon the networking opportunities with the various forums. So when you join a networking forum, like how do you be visible? Because like you, there will be 100 people who will be in the same network. And most of the time it is offline meeting or online or offline meeting where we just exchange our LinkedIn, exchange our visiting card, that's all. So how do you develop those networking? Let's say you like about 10 people who have like-minded things. Now, with your areas of concern, like I want a mentor, I want a sponsor. Now, how do you elevate to that level where you continue your networking and get some mentor? Is there a process chain which you follow, or what kind of suggestion you want to give when women join a networking group?
So, just for the networking part, if you're new to networking and you have joined a couple of forums, say, some people are shy and to talk, and they're kind of introverts. So, WhatsApp is a great forum where people directly, so you're messaging, you're listening, you're reading to what people are sending, coming on the group and stuff like that. Once you kind of get comfortable there, then move to at least attend a couple of live events where there are about 10 to 15 people, sometimes even 100 people, smaller events. Arrive at the venue a little earlier so that there are fewer people and you can meet and greet a couple of them, and then withdraw to your shell if you feel like. So once take one step at a time so that your inhibitions are thrown out of the door and you're not putting yourself in an uncomfortable position, or your confidence is not killed. That's something different when it comes to sponsorship, right? Sponsorship has to be earned. So you cannot go around asking people to be your sponsor. So leadership and sponsorship has to come from the leaders. So, but unfortunately, leaders don't have the time to go looking around who's doing a great job, and they're quite busy people. So we have to stop waiting to be noticed, and we have to create visibility for us for the kind of work that we do, and that is totally upon us. And we cannot outsource this to anyone, including our immediate line managers. They have their own things to do. So that's something that we have to do it for ourselves. I have, in fact, struggled personally with creating visibility for myself. And the first thing to do is to start thinking and acting. If you're looking at a next position, right? Start thinking and acting like you are already in that position and not like
Okay.
where you
Super.
are right. Yeah, that is something that will get noticed sooner or later. And again, culturally in India, especially in India, we've been always told that bragging is not good. So don't brag about yourself. But it's not bragging if it's true, right? So if you are doing a great job, you should talk about it. If you don't talk about it, nobody else will.
Very true.
Share your wins, communicate achievements, and the most important thing is tie it back to your department goal, or the organization goal. If you're doing 10 things and your manager or your skip level manager is not really doesn't understand how this is going to affect the goals or the what the company has in mind, it doesn't make much sense. You might be doing a great job with all the 10 things, but it has to mean something to the overall business sense. So keep that in mind, and then so do all that, like someone else earlier was saying, keep a tracker, communicate that yes, I have done this, especially before your review meetings. That becomes very crucial. And we could also use social media to amplify this messaging, right? This is something we have, that's our personal space. We can share whatever. There is no kind of censorship there. So if there is a big win, if you were part of a great project, if your contribution was really crucial, put a post out on LinkedIn as to how you contributed, and tag people who helped you do that. Uh, Put some resources out to help others who are reading it, because everyone's having their own battles. So something that the post that you put out, a simple thing, could also be such an inspiration for others.
Wonderful. I think you have stressed the core element of it, like personal branding, networking, self rejection, all the core areas I think you have touched upon. And being Indians, both men and women are little shy in showcasing themselves. But that's a time where we have to brand ourselves on what we are up to, and we have to create visibility for ourselves, because nobody will put a table and chair and ask you to come and sit. It is ourselves. We have to create our own chairs and sit for it. I think the entrepreneurs will agree to the fact that everything they have to do in that case. So the career also, whatever we are doing, we have to think like an entrepreneurship and create opportunities, as the other speakers as well were telling. So I think it's a very, very valuable pointers you have shared in last 10-15 minutes, and thank you so much for that, and all the very best, and looking forward for more conversations. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumar.
Yeah. All right. So that was a beautiful insights towards the mentorship ability, mentorship need, or professional networking, personal branding on LinkedIn. Like as Radhika suggested, like we have to start our own projection showcasing on LinkedIn, especially because it's a professional networking platform, and all the other professional will be watching as to what we are doing in the space and where is our subject matter expertise. So that is the way we'll have to start showcasing our personal branding so that it helps in a long term. Now, moving on to the next conversation or areas which we want to discuss is um, the entire corporate world predominantly has been dominated by male CEOs, CXOs, CHROs, whatnot. So, in this particular world, how a woman can navigate this career opportunities, that's where we want to discuss. We have Sonali Datta with us, and she's a founder of Humanize. And just want to understand, Sonali, like welcome once again, and let me know like what exactly is your past career and what do you do right now. So maybe from there we'll start.
Thank you so much, Kumar, for having me here. So, hi everybody. My name is Sonali. I'm the founder of a company called Humanize. So, I work with companies on culture and inclusion. So, if you're a leader or a manager, and if you feel like your people are switching off, they're not speaking up, or they are quietly leaving the organization, that's where we come in. But most importantly, today's conversation is a very important thing, and of course, Kumar, like you mentioned, like male-dominated corporate cultures. That's something that I have lived. Right. So I've spent almost a decade in navigating corporate rooms. And in those rooms, I was often the only woman. For the longest time, I was the youngest person, and I was also a very odd looking one out. Yeah. So over time, I've realized that the word culture is not just about policy changes, it's about behavior. And the good part is that behavior can change. So today's conversation is more about that.
Fine, fantastic. That's a good start. So I think it is like a self goal, like hitting myself back on this kind of a topic. So but that's a reality which statistics also shows, and you are coming from that particular practical exposure where we want you to advise the audience on what exactly is happening and how to navigate those kind of challenges. That's the only area. So I will start with in this how male dominated culture and all that, what are the areas which is concerning in terms of maybe certain policies, maybe certain behaviors, maybe some HR policies. There are multiple things, limitations, right? So what do you think it is super dominating where you feel like little stuck, or okay, this has to change? What are the topmost areas which you feel?
Yeah. So, well, in one of my first jobs, I remember that I had shared an idea during a client conversation. And the moment I shared the idea, it was just ignored, just plain ignored. Nobody acknowledged it, nothing happened, right? And we were a bunch of people on the same call, and 5 minutes later, a male colleague kind of repeated or reiterated the same idea in his own way, and suddenly everybody found it very brilliant. So I felt a little embarrassed, so I laughed it off. I did not make a big deal out of it. But I remember after that point of time, I started to speak less, and I started to second guess myself a lot. So that was the time I remembered that, leading or being present in a situation is not just about skills, it's about having access to what we like to call as power circles, right? A lot of my earlier speakers have also spoken about this. And the kind of culture that we have kind of lived in the workplace, which is extremely male dominated, it is they reward something that's familiar, and what's familiar is confidence, it's decisiveness, that hey, I know what I'm talking about. So any ounce of self doubt or anything that you speak in a lesser tone will be taken as, say, this person does not know what they're talking about. And this confidence and decisiveness has also need to be packaged in a certain way. For women, what happens, it's very interesting. It's a double-edged sword. So if we speak too much, or we speak up, we're like, oh, this person is a little too much, it's a bit too dominating. But at the same time, if we don't speak, or if we speak a little softer, we become invisible. So that is kind of the unspoken rules of the corporate culture. And another important thing to also remember is that microaggressions, something like being interrupted or talked over, is very common. And it unfortunately does happen. A lot of times we have also seen that we talk over, as women, we also talk over another woman, but we might not talk over a man. So these are things that are in kind of embedded into our own heads in the way we kind of conduct ourselves. Unfortunately, policies can only do so much. There are a lot of policies that are pro woman, that are pro inclusion, but our behaviors have to change, right? So I can give like three things that one can do. The first thing is, as women, if you feel like your voice is not being heard, you have to name it, which means that if you are getting interrupted, say things like, let me finish my point, or I'd like to circle back to what I was saying, these things. So you're telling the person, hey, I acknowledge you, but you also interrupted me, I want to get back to finishing what I said. And you need not be very rude about it, you can politely also say the same thing.
Hmm.
Another thing that I'm a very big advocate of, that my past speakers have also said, is keeping a brag folder. Yeah. So where you remember your own wins and you have to remind people that about the work that you have done. And over here, a very important part of saying this is, a lot of women often use phrases like, we did this, we did that. So the moment
Correct.
you say we, you're also devaluing your own contribution to the project. So be
Yes.
very open and say, I led X, which led to Y, right? And
Hmm.
the third important thing is, let's not wait to be invited. Like you also mentioned, right? Like nobody's going to give you a table and a chair. So
Hmm.
let's volunteer. If you want to present, please volunteer to present. You got to own your projects and lead meetings. You tell your boss, tell your manager, hey, I would like to lead this. I would like to take charge of this. And you have to show up so people know that, hey, Sonali is ready. Let's not like push someone else forward. She's ready, she's here. You have to say it multiple times so they remember it. Yeah. So these are a few things that can help.
So the proactiveness has to be tangible and visible and should be communicated so that they feel, oh, okay, this person is coming forward. Let's give a chance. That way.
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
think very, very crucial aspect you have spoken. Coming from this experience, like any practical strategies you have applied, like you said, like there is one idea which has been spoken and some other person took it and then told and got appreciated. Now you have learned a lesson, right? So after this 10 years experience and being into entrepreneurship, what are the strategies you suggest to the women who are undergoing the same thing where they were not heard or they were being dominated too much on the boardrooms, all that? So, coming from practical experience, what is your best advice?
Right. So there was a time when I thought that if I just work hard enough, I'll get noticed. But then I saw that people around me, yeah, often men, they're growing faster because they were not just doing the work, they were telling the story of how they were doing the work. Right. So in a lot of ways, us women were raised to be modest. Don't take up so much space, don't talk so much, don't be so loud, just be there, sit there, look pretty. That's it. Yeah. So I had to unlearn a lot. I went into business as a very young person. I have a baby face. People don't generally take me very seriously. So I had to like really put myself out there, and I unlearned a lot of these things that we were kind of taught, and it was embedded into our DNAs of sorts. And I also learned storytelling as a strategy. It is one of the biggest things and the best things that we can do. In fact, I'm doing it today as well. Whenever you're asking me something, I'm starting with a story. And that's the best way to kind of grab someone's attention. So, like you mentioned, visibility matters, but very importantly, you cannot be quietly excellent. If you feel like I'm just going to
Okay.
come to my office, do my work, and my manager is going to take care of it. No, you have to tell people how excellent you are, yeah? How much of the work you are doing, how much time it is taking for you. And unfortunately, we have to play the game that the corporate culture also plays. Yeah, you cannot enter and be like, no, I will not let this change me. I will be, yeah, you be authentic, but some rules of the game we also have to abide by, right? So couple of things we can do is start small. If you have never spoken up anywhere, randomly just going and telling someone might feel a little intimidating. So in a smaller circle, maybe let's say in an internal meeting, you just tell the manager, hey, can I lead this part? So slowly you start taking action, right? Or a lot of people have also spoken about networking events and all. So put yourself out there in different circles where you feel less judged. Judgment often comes from our inside of our minds. I am assuming you are judging me. You might just be thinking about something else and not at all bothered about what I'm saying. Yeah. Um, Another person also spoke about sponsors. I'm a very big advocate of it. There are rooms that we are not entering, but we can have our representation in that room through our sponsors. So go around and search for these people. You build bonds with these people. Again, please don't be inauthentic and just take advantage of them. You have to, it has to be a transactional relationship as well. Why should they sponsor you? What are you giving them? And is it also beneficial for them to sponsor you? It should look good on their paper.
Okay.
Your name should also be beneficial for them. Another thing
Right.
is, I've done this multiple times, we got to build sideways, which means oftentimes we look at people higher up to sponsor us and talk about us. What about our peers? I've had the
Okay.
best team members who also speak about me in different rooms, who say that, hey, I've worked with Sonali, she's fantastic. If you need a speaker, I would like to say it's Sonali, and not just in the same organization. These peers will go to other organizations and go and sponsor you. So you might even not know the kind of work you're getting because of these peers. So yeah, these
True.
kind of things will help.
I mean, super structured, super template-based ideas which you have given in the last 10 minutes. I think there are a lot of to converse, but in the interest of time, I think we'll have to go with the final question. Will you be like? Uh, so I read the book called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, where we understood the psychology between the two worlds. So since you come from that different world altogether, see sometimes miscommunication happens where we may not even understand the intention, all that. So how do you think men should support in this kind of intention in a career advancements for a women? What are the signals we have to look into from a woman? Okay, she needs some help. Let me put together. Okay, so it is always not a domination. It may be lack of awareness as well from the men's side. That okay, what do you feel? I may not even understand. So this particular area you take as a super advantage time where you say, okay, men, this is what we want. If you have that kind of an option, you can. It is your chance to tell to the audience.
Definitely. Thank you so much. So, men are my allies. They are my friends. And for the longest time, even today, I have been considered as one of the boys, one of the guys. So, I have premium exclusive access to all of their talks. And unfortunately, I did never had a disadvantage in this case.
Dangerous, very dangerous.
Very dangerous. I know a lot of things that guys think. Had a lot of male cousins, male friends. So very privy to what's happening behind the doors as well. So I
Okay.
remember there was a time when I was kind of interviewing with a organization, and the person who was taking my interview happened to be the HRBP and also became the manager I reported to. And my interviews generally are anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour. It's never less because I get talking like this and they really enjoy this conversation. So we were just talking about like work and beyond work. And then I happened to tell him that I am not much of an alcohol person. Like I don't like drinking. And when we go out to parties, I feel very awkward telling people that I don't drink because of the way I look. They assume that I do everything related to drinking and all. So, and over time, I'm trying to build that confidence to kind of say no, yet not been taken as a non-fun or non-exciting person. And I remember in the same company we had after a few months we went out to celebrate a big project, and I knew that people are going to come and tell me, "Hey, let's have a drink," or why aren't you ordering any drinks? And he was sitting on the in the middle of the table and he was kind of acknowledging everyone, talking about it, and then he kept one eye at me while we were kind of ordering our drinks. And I remember him very specifically telling people, "Hey, Sonali does not really like drinking, so nobody will coax her or try to force her to drink. If she wants to drink, she'll pick up a drink." And that was it. So that's
Okay.
what we're talking about, right? Simple things. He remembered it. He did not have to do it, but he also remembered that I will feel a little hesitant to say
Mm,
that. So this
mm,
is what
mm,
kind of allyship is, standing for something which is not active, not passive, but active in nature. And it's
mm,
about micro corrections and macro impact. Small things that people do will really help. So, couple of things that male allies can do again is, first is echo and credit. This is one of my favorite things. So, if
mm,
you feel like someone whose original idea is there, but like me or like someone else, they're unable to voice it out properly, but it is their idea. Make sure you just say, as Sonali just said, or this idea was
mm.
given by Sonali. So, you gotta give credit to the original person and acknowledge them,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Next
That's the first
is,
thing to do. Mm,
first thing, yes. Second
mm,
thing
mm,
is, if you're in a all male group, let's challenge this exclusivity. If you feel like all the
mm,
decisions are being made by an all male group, why don't you just say, "Hey, let's bring a woman on the board. Let's hear their conversation and let's hear their perspective as well." Have some diversity in any group. That'll be very profitable for your business as well. And
mm,
also, ask, don't assume, right? So I had told my manager that I am hesitant to say when I don't drink because I feel a certain
mm,
way, which is why he stepped in to say that. So he acknowledged that that is where I required support. If you have female peers, juniors or seniors, have a conversation with them and say, like, what does support really look like for you? Do you want me to step in or do you not want me to step in? Instead of just going and protecting them, be like, I will be the savior. Maybe they just
okay.
want you to be there in spirit, but not really talk the talk for them. Yeah, so these will really
So
help.
before taking a concluding decision, male should ask the women what I mean, or brainstorm to take a alignment in that particular decision. That's what you
Yes,
mean.
why not? Like, you're making a
Okay.
decision which includes them, so why not also take
Okay.
their permission, or
Okay.
perspective rather.
Yeah. Yeah. Then
Yeah, so these are smaller things. Yeah, I feel like
top list.
as women, we also need to kind of stop looking at men like our enemy. I have a lot
Hmm.
of men in my career and my life who are really supportive, extremely supportive, and who are just there for me. Over time, I
Hmm.
have also trained them how support for me looks like and changed their perspective about women. So let's not make it a man versus woman world. I think that's a very old kind of a thought process. We're all here. We're trying to work towards something. Let's build a workplace which is fair together. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think I need a separate discussion on this because the way which you are telling creates an imagination and picture in my mind as to what is the kind of scenario, all that. So 15 minutes is not enough, but since it's a roundtable format, we have to confine to that kind of thing. But you made a very beautiful point, like echoing and crediting is from the male side, and challenging the exclusivity, and asking and not assuming in the decision making, and the most important things, don't treat us as enemies. So that crux of the matter, because a lot of time when we don't communicate, we assume a lot, that okay, this person is like this, let me not put forth my ideas, and that continues as a grudge towards the entire
Yes.
career. So
Yes.
rather, we'll make it a point. There is at least we open up something. If they are listening, then fine. Otherwise, it's fine. So that's an area which we have to be a little more proactive. I think it's a very structured key insights you have given to the audience. And thank you so much. Being a founder, you've been a very busy schedule all throughout the day, and spending a Sunday with us is a very huge. A key knowledge, including me. And as Sonali said, we have this echoing and crediting is required, and all this whatever Sonali has said, whoever is the male audience and startup founders who are business owners who are listening to this, maybe going forward we have to take up this areas which been told by Sonali and suggested by Sonali, so that it is a contribution which is improvising the whole point, because we might be thinking in one dimension, but they come up with a different dimension for the same fixing of issues.
Yes.
So that's again, end of the day, it is a contribution for an organization. So why not we take up this, okay, rather than
Absolutely.
creating a domination things. So thank you so much for joining us today and giving a very well valuable and practical elements to follow, not a philosophy which you have came with the practical ideas, challenged and then implemented by yourself, and then giving this suggestion. Thank you so much for joining today. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kumar. And just a quick closing note that, the good news is that change is happening. People like you are amplifying it, you're pushing it. I have seen men call out bias. I have seen women who have stopped apologizing for taking space. So, whether you're a woman who's navigating this space, or if you're a man or even a woman in power who's holding that power and authority, please ask yourself, what do I allow? What do I amplify, and what do I challenge? Because that's where culture can shift and change. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. All right, that's a great insight, including me. I've taken a lot of notes, and yeah, that's having a male domination is completely the real practical things. But in the boardrooms, especially, there are a lot of concern which certain domination may not be made. So the next area of topic which we have picked up is limited representation in boardrooms and especially C-suits, where only males at a leadership level, board of director, and other people will take up a final decision, whatever it comes to the organization, a larger decision making. So how to decode that, or how to get into these kind of a boardroom representation, is what we're going to discuss. So we'll call upon Geetika Gupta.
Hi.
Hi, welcome Geetika, and thank you so much for joining us today. And just tell a little about you, and what do you do, what is your career background, so that we understand and take this on.
Sure. Thank you, Kumar, for this opportunity, first of all. And I've been in talent acquisition for almost like 16 years in the industry. I recently I've moved out from corporate and I've started my own firm, which is into again staffing and training. So that's about me. I'm from Bangalore. So the question which is in the picture here, why Indian women are underrepresented in C-suits roles, especially in India. So I believe these are what I have understood in my career for 15 years, 16 years, is that there are majorly 4 reasons to it. One is the leaky leadership in pipeline. So basically, again, what the first and the
Geetika, one
second
second. There's some interruption while you're talking. So can you cross-check your internet or volume, so that we have a streamlined thing? There is a lot of fluctuation which is happening while you're talking.
I'm not really sure. Is it better now?
No, it is continuing, but there is a fluctuation, voice break, which is happening while you're talking. So can you check back and let me know? Maybe a headphone might help, or internet shifting might help.
My internet is okay.
Okay, can you cross check on that, so that we'll go back to another speaker and come back to you? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry. So technically, you can just check for it, and then we will come back to you again. Yeah. So we will discuss that very crucial part in the next thing, where the technical aspects needs to be fixed by Geetika, and we will discuss about. Someone talked about the networking opportunities in the earlier session. So we will call upon Mr. Sampath Arni Ravi, who will be giving key insights about the networking which happens, networking opportunities for women, especially because at this time, a lot of men do offline networking, all that on a Saturday, Sunday, all that. But typically, women join in the online sessions. So welcome Sampath, and thanks for joining and creating a separate, going for a cafe and then joining this session is something which you have made a extra effort. So thankful for that.
No
So tell
problem.
us what you do and what is your career span. We will start from there. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So good afternoon, GS Kumar. Thanks for choosing me as one of the panel here. I'm glad that I'm the only male today talking apart from you. So I keep hearing everyone talking about the women, how upliftment and all of that. So I have over about 12 years of experience in talent acquisition in HR.
Sampath, we cannot see you. We can't see your video. Can you check your video? So technical difficulty happens during the LinkedIn live sessions. Typically, when we are at home, the internet is something we don't check. But when we are going outside, there might be a lot of issues in terms of the speed and network and other probabilities. So I think Sampath is facing that kind of an issue. So we will wait for a minute to get fixed that. Sampath, can you hear me? Okay, so in the interest of time, I'll just move on to the next person. So let me check with Geetika whether she is available. So Geetika, you have checked, is it fixed in your
Uh, is
technical settings?
the voice okay now?
Little this thing is there, but maybe we'll continue. We will see how best it is. Yeah.
Okay. So I will continue from my point, which I was mentioning earlier, that so there are basically four reasons which I have understood in these 15, 16 of corporate world. That one is the leaky leadership pipeline. So very fewer women ascend from a middle to senior management due to all the reasons mentioned by my peers right now on this particular event. So starting from family responsibilities to lack of mentorship and sponsorship opportunity, cultural expectations, and that undervalue women's long-term professional ambitions. So that's the reason. These are the basic few reasons where we have leaky leadership pipeline because of our own roles. Then I feel that tokenism is something which is very, very prevalent in India right now. So on the paper, definitely we are leading somewhere in terms of having leadership, women leadership on the paper. But when it comes to appointments or being there in the decision making, it's very, very symbolic. Especially in promoter led firms, women are often they come from family members without any operational authority. So they are just on paper without any operational authority and business acumen. So that is how I think this is the second point I really want to mention here, because many of us are a part of such setup. Then I feel that bias and inclusion from networks, again, the same point being repetitive. Informal male dominated networks play a major role in leadership promotions. Unusual chats, getting out, sutta breaks. Women are frequently left out of these circles, limiting high access to high stakes projects, basically. Uh, then limited PNL exposure. I think it is very, very important to understand that how you place yourself in the business or the company where you're working at is very, very important. When we start, we are shy, we are timid, we are coming from a background where we are likewise said many a times on this event that, we have to behave in a certain way, act in a certain way, dress like a certain way. And coming from that background, when you enter a corporate, you have a lot of baggage which you carry with you. And then you have, from that baggage, you have to actually grow up in the ladder. So women are commonly funneled into support roles like HR, legal, communication. But it's the PNL ownership and operational leadership that serve as a stepping stone to C-suite. Right? And
Okay.
women are often absent from these tracks because of all the reasons my peers have mentioned here. So I think these are the four things which I feel, one, women they have to really stand up for themselves. There's nobody else who's going to fight your fight. It's very simple. If you have decided that you want to make a mark, you have to. Somewhere Priyanka Chopra, I can always imagine her saying that, good women don't make a mark. You have to be somebody out there who has to rise and shine every day for yourself, which is so true for us. And I think everyone of us, for that matter. For women, it is more challenging because of all these things we have to take care of while we are doing so many other responsibilities. Yeah. So, so how do we basically move out from a space which is where we are stuck? We want to grow, and then we have to move from that particular thing. So, one, build expertise in strategic and business critical functions. Say, for example, if you are an HR, you can ask to lead a workforce planning project tied to company growth or M&A, which is, but you have to ask is the question. Uh, you have to ask for things. You cannot assume that things will come up to you. Uh, like that. So HR is basically a very back end important function. But if you are able to connect with the company growth, where M&A and all these strategy consulting things are happening, so your visibility will also increase. And how we can do that? You can gain exposure to core functions like strategy, finance, risk, operations, and if you can do business development also. Volunteer for cross-functional projects or business-related volunteer programs. Seek rotational assignments. I think the first speaker also mentioned about it, that rotational assignments are the most important things to be done in case if you're looking for a growth in terms of being in a C-suite in the company. So that's the first thing. Build expertise in strategy or business-related functions. Then the second is gain PNL acumen, which is important. Operational experience is very, very important. Request for roles where you are responsible for budgets, revenues, and cost centers. Cost center is a very big, it comes at a very higher level, but you can start very small, like responsible for budgets. Like if you're planning an offsite, you can start with that. It's a very easy thing to do, and it's a very smaller thing to start for, and then you can gradually increase. Take on a leadership of business units or new markets. So for example, because I'm in talent acquisition, I can give examples related to that. So for example, if you're doing a talent acquisition for India, why don't you volunteer for a talent acquisition role in, say, Dubai or US or Australia and or Denmark? Why not? Nobody will say no to you, right? So it will one help you to gauge what's the market, how does that market work for you, and what all we need to take care of, and then you will slowly and gradually move out of national hiring to international hiring. So you are actually expanding yourself in terms of knowledge and experience, and people can see it because you're
Horizontally,
collaborating.
you're expanding.
Yeah, because you're collaborating across borders, basically, right? And if not the head of PNL, work closely with commercial to understand the matrix and decision making process. Likewise, I said that when you get into it, you will understand the nitty gritty of it. So board recruiters often look for candidates who can read a balance sheet, right, and assess strategic risk. Correct. So that's how it will be. Third is understand corporate governance and regulatory landscape. I know it sounds very big and massive and all of that, but if we aspire to go from here to here, there has to be, the work has to be done. You have to go through it. There is no easy way to go about it. You have to study frameworks like SEBI's LODR regulations, or updating yourself regarding cybersecurity or ESG or shareholder activism, risk governance. Take up board certification programs. It's very slow, but you will reach there. You can design your own program. You can go through all these websites and then look at the minimum what you can start as per your schedule daily with all the responsibility, and with the due course you will start getting certified, and that will build your confidence to speak in the meetings, to speak in boardrooms like that, right? The confidence is really really important. Fourth, I think seeking mentors and sponsors and board chambers. I don't have to lay emphasis on that anymore, because I think I'm the fifth speaker and everyone has laid emphasis on that, because you need somebody to, who can be your champion, who can mentor you, who can support you. And I'm not saying this particular thing is very very limited to women. I think it goes with both men and women as well. Find sponsors who advocate for you at senior level, somebody who has seen you working over a period of time. Somebody join a women in leadership forums, alumni groups, board specific networks, right? Attend industry events where search firms or investors or board members are there, right? Relationship building, networking is what is very very important. You have to be out there. If you are seen, then only you can sell, whether it's you or the product or a service. It's very simple, plain, basic nowadays, right? And pursue board readiness programs. So for example, IICA has few programs which are on women director program. You can do that. CII, Confederation of Indian Industry, have few programs for women centric programs where you can go through that and offer the programs. Then we have NSC and BSc training programs. That's a must for every woman, because financial literacy gives a lot of boost and confidence, especially with the compliance, taxes, filing your returns. Once you do it, I know it gives a lot of confidence to your soul that, I can do it now. I don't have to depend on somebody else, whether that's a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. So you have to work on yourself. You have to be literate on where you're going and what you want to achieve in life, right? Be seen and heard, build visibility and thought leadership. It's very very important. Write blogs. Likewise, one of my speaker has said that publish thought pieces on LinkedIn or industry platforms. Build visibility internally and externally as a leader, and just not a functional expert, right? Positioning yourself as a strategic thinker makes you think top of the mind when opportunities arise, right? Also develop a board ready mindset. Ask the right questions, not give answers. Answering is not always required. You ask the right questions is also important. Be a strategic foresight, just not operational insight. So, for example, when we talk about TA, you have a specific business which you support, right? Just not working on the position or the positions you have, which is basically your core role. But if you step out and connect with the business and understand that, why this position has come up, or what all has to be done annually, and what all we can do with it. Ask right questions, you will get answers. Get comfortable with ambiguity and collective decision making, and don't think that asking any question is very very stupid. Now, no question is stupid. Practice thinking like a director. So start thinking like you're a PNL owner. So, for example, at our home, as mothers and wives, we always think that cooking, taking care of the child that's our PNL, right? That is how we think at home. So, in corporate, when you are out with your business, when you are out at promoting your business, think like a director. This is your own stuff. You should know what do you do, where you want to go, how you can do it, and leverage executive search firms. They are very very important. Build relationships with them. Corn Ferry, Spencer, Russell. So these firms are very very important to place you. Start working with them. Start interacting with them. So they will give you a lot of insights, because currently you are working just in the corporate, right? You are not there in the market. as of now, but they are there in the market. They are talking to a lot more and beyond what you are doing right now. They are talking to leadership of so many firms and companies. Then give you more insight, and the more you connect with them, the more opportunities you will have for you. So my final thought is that preparing for a boardroom set isn't just about skills. It is about being seen as a strategic asset who can contribute to long-term success of the organization. It takes time, preparation, and positioning with the right moves. But it is not something which is not within the reach. I have seen my last company. Um, uh, I have seen zero female representation in the boardroom, and now we have 3 people in the representation. So you have to step up. You have to increase. You have to step up, step out from your comfort zone, and be there in the spotlight. It is very uncomfortable for sure. There's no doubt about that. But you have to do what you have to do. So
Okay.
these are my few cents over this thing that everybody wants to be there, but how much you want to do for it is important. And what are you doing about it is the question. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think very significant differentiation you have made and very unique point you made is like women are most of the times it is in the supportive role. I myself realizing, yeah, this is true. Like this has not been spoken a lot many times and not even thought about it. Where you made it a point like P&L is the only area business will be concerned about.
Yes.
Correct, and whoever is
Yes.
aligning to that P&L area, they'll be naturally aligned and naturally clubbed with the business sense. So obviously that's the area we have to shift our mind in terms of you beautifully put that like think like a P&L leader, think like a director. That is the area there a lot of people are not even shifting or pivoting their thought process because they think okay it is my this is my job role, okay TA is my role, like let me do only this itself is giving a lot of escalation headache and all that. Why should I go to the next level? So obviously when you have to travel to a leadership role, this P&L activity is something which you have to take it up. So you are a person who has a combination of working experience as well as a business experience. So my final question will be like when you move from a working, job from a business perspective, what really helped you, which you have consolidated over a period of experience in a job, and how does it work for you while running your business?
See, what really helped me move from that side of the table to this side of the table is I had to learn my lessons, right? I am somebody who wants to learn and then move out, right? So you go through a lot of experiences while working. You understand a lot of things. Like as I said, when you move out of the house for the first time, if for your first job, you are very, very different as a person. But due course of time, you learn a lot of things. That how do you want to talk about yourself? How do you position yourself? What do you want to achieve in life? What is your present scenario in your life, personal and professionally? How can you align them? So I think I learned my lessons during these 15 years, 16 years of my life in talent acquisition and HR BP as well, which helped me to actually start my new venture, because somewhere down the line I understood that these are the skills which are required. I need to have my own PNL. I need to understand that there are few skills I have to work on myself to be out there. I am an introvert moving to an extrovert kind of person. Voicing myself should not be a shame. So all of that I have learned in my corporate gradually, slowly, and then I have become this person that for business I can now go and meet a man or a woman. It doesn't matter to me. I can always talk sense and understand, and we can have a conversation around it, meaningful conversations about it. So that is how this I have moved from this side of the table to that side of the table. But yes, coming to your second question, at this right now I'm a toddler mom. I have 2 kids. I wanted to have a life where I can run at my own pace, plus keep building what I'm building right now for myself. So that is how I moved out from a very, I wouldn't say comfortable space, but where I had to learn lessons, and I moved out, and now I have to implement what I have to implement for myself and for my business.
Wonderful. I think you are inspiring a lot of people because you're coming from that background and sensed where are the challenges and adopting those challenges in your practical situations, which will be helping in your business entrepreneurship journey itself. Because as I always tell to people, my clients, like whoever is crossing 10 years, 15 years, I always say that there is no organization which will make you a CEO or CHO. You will
Yeah.
have to build your own career. So that is so natural for all the women and all the men who are crossing 15 years, because everybody cannot become GM, VP, and CEO. Okay, so obviously we have to adopt those areas which business needs, and you've touched upon very unique point. Like P&L is the only area where we can get aligned with the business leadership boardrooms, which will make a lot of sense, and we should also have a career opportunity wherein the supporting roles any which way can be replaced by another junior or somebody else who can do the same stereotypic job. But P&L is something very unique where you can contribute to an organization and create uniqueness for it. So
Yes.
thank you so much for a very valuable point, and I myself realizing that this is the bifurcation which is happening in the world. And thank you so much, and all the best for your business, and hoping to see you in a lot of conversation in the next few sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumar, and looking forward to the next one. It was really nice interacting with your questions, and all the best.
Thank you. So that was wonderful. Like it's a super realization for me. Like if I think back, I can look for it. A lot of roles has been a supportive role, and Geetika has brought up the idea of supporting the P&L rather than a what you call supporting role like operations and administration. Because typically, a lot of women take up this operation and admin role because they are multitask oriented mindset rather than men's individual focused role. So that's where I think a mind shift has to go towards a P&L kind of a roles where we have to figure out whether it is contributing to the P&L and business growth of an organization, or it's a supportive role. Based on that, we'll have to take some opportunities so that we align to the board of directors. So let me see whether Sampath is good to go. Let me open his video. Sampath, are you good technically? I think still there is an issue. Okay. So let me move on to the next speaker. Okay. Okay. So one of the points which we discussed is the mentorship and leadership support, coaching, all that. So accessing leadership development programs is one of the areas which we will all have to elevate, because leadership is a separate zone where it needs a lot of the role itself demands a lot from a individual to contribute. Either it can be a travel, either it can be a cross cultural stakeholder management or client management, multiple things. So to discuss this in detail, I'll call upon Rajesh. Let me open her video. Hello, Bhairavi Rajesh. Welcome to the LinkedIn Live. So tell us more about yourself, what you do, what was your career in the past, what currently you are doing. So maybe from there we'll start the conversation.
Sure. Thanks, first of all, for initiating this topic, which being a man would be very uncomfortable kind. So initiating this itself is a big way forward. And coming to me, like I help leaders let go of their stress, emotional residue, burnout, so that they can lead with clarity, calm, and authentic power. So I have been in this field for about 30 years now, um, being a healer. So work more on a healing side of it. But what I have noticed and seen is the alignment, the inner alignment with self is what leads to a lot of struggle. So initially it is all about, like, based on your grades, you're taking up careers, you're choosing streams, whether you're taking engineering, medical, or whatever, or you become a CA. You choose based on your grades. It is after that first 30 years of life is where it hits hard. that do I resonate with the field I am in or not? Because till then it was just the grades and somebody told you something and you took up a career, you went on, moved on like that. But after 30,
By the way, I'll just break this conversation into multiple sub dimensions so that it's easier for the audience to get into those areas. So I'll put it in a way like why do women lack leadership training? Because even in the corporates, they offer this leadership training for multiple people. Like both the dimension, they roll out this particular leadership training for getting elevated. So what are the areas which is making us a self rejection, or okay, this is not for me kind of an option? So do you see some self rejection or lack of access happening to this leadership training, especially to women?
yes, absolutely. Because see, what I have noticed is women have a lot of potential. It's not lack of potential. It's just lack of permission. Have I given myself the permission that I want to lead? What is it? Where is it that I choose to be? Right? That is where is the conflict. I have seen so many women who are overqualified, but still they're not in that C-suite roles. Why? Simply because they feel they are not yet ready. And why are they not?
Correct,
So
correct,
that
correct.
that the alignment within is where is missing. You know, it is just that you are not aware. You've been taking on the stride. You educated in a certain way. You got married in a certain way. You took up certain jobs. Campus recruitment happened. You got some job, and you just moved on. You did not choose it. You did not
Correct,
choose
correct.
the path you want to travel. That is why I say, well, Life Craft Hub, the company that I founded was what? Choose, craft your life, design your life the way you want to lead. What is happening is we are just falling in places by default. I got this job, I'm taking it. I got this role, I'm taking it. This I got promoted, I'm taking it. But is it aligning with me? So unless I identify whether it aligns with me or is this the path I want to travel or not, whatever development programs, whether the company is offering or there is something that is available outside, it will not help me move forward. There will be that frustration that will build up somewhere that you are 100% you will not be able to give. Though you are so qualified, your 100% output will not come because somewhere you feel that disconnect. So if you align yourself, what is it? How much priority? Now, if you see film stars, so like one of the speakers mentioned Priyanka Chopra. So if you see Priyanka Chopra, though she has a small kid, she chose to continue her career. Whereas if you see Aishwarya Rai, she chose to drop her. She was also at the peak when she dropped her career. So it was her personal choice. So it's not just because someone else is doing, I have to do. I have to understand what is it that makes me, what is my mindset, what are my priorities. So leadership is all about three basic fundamental areas. One is the skill set. Skill set you can build anywhere, anytime. It's all available. You can just go and build those skill set. You can take any kind of training program. Second is the mindset. What is it that I want from my life? How ready am I for it? Third is the energy. If I'm not ready, if everything is a conflict for me, every single day is a conflict, I will not be able to perform my 100%.
Correct, 200%. Yeah.
Right? So unless these three are aligned, what is it that I aspire to be? Unless that is aligned, there is no point in me building any skill.
True, true.
If I don't enjoy eating Chinese, there is no point in me going and sitting in a Chinese restaurant.
Exactly.
I go and sit in a Chinese restaurant and I expect idli dosa to not be served.
True, true, true. I think you made the most crucial, topmost thing like skill set and mindset, whether or how I am ready or not, and the energy level. It's is most crucial where we attract the right things because our energy levels only. So that's very, very crucial. So, in your opinion, you have seen a lot of programs in your corporate world and other areas also. So, like for a women, which are all the programs which will really help in upskilling them? Maybe a soft skill training or a behavioral training or technical things. What do you think is best for a women in terms of leadership roles to be taken?
See, that is a very wide and vague way of going it. First of all,
Okay.
there are three steps, what I call as a three-step formula. The first step should be your awareness. Awareness of what is my choice. What is it that I want to be? Do I want to be a pilot? Do I want to be a technical engineer? Do I want to be in the front
So
end or do I in the
goal
back?
has to be fixed first. goal has to
Yes,
be fixed first
that
from
has
the
to come
women's side.
first.
Okay.
Yes, that awareness has to be there.
Okay.
And along with that comes four different levels. In the same thing comes four different levels. In workplace, what is the kind of workplace I'm comfortable at? What is it that I'm looking forward to? Do I want to be remote? Do I want to be offline? Will both work for me? Then comes your personal area. How comfortable is my family or supportive my family so that I can take up this role? See, if you see your teachers, or most of the time, our teachers were all women. So you cannot ask a teacher to have flexible time zone. The timetable will not be built according to my need, whether my child is small,
Correct.
right? It is whatever is the schedule, I have to fit in there,
Correct. Correct.
right? So if I look into my own life, my mother was a primary school teacher, and she had a junior teacher along with her. So that time the opportunity came, you both do B.Ed, learn the third language, you can be sent to high school. My mother did not opt for it because I was a small baby. She encouraged the younger teacher who was not married. She said, you complete it, so it's easy for you to get into that role even before you get married.
Okay.
So
Got
the
it.
choice is there.
That was a wise choice.
Yeah. So it is a choice you make, and then you decide what skill to build. First,
Makes sense.
First, be clear what I want from my life. Certificate, you can have thousands of certifications, but unless it aligns with your goals, with your life, there is no point of having any certificate.
True.
Again, see what is the health situation, your own health situation, the other seniors at family, other kids in the family. So you will have to be spread a little thinly with these things. How much of it can you delegate? How it will be your sole responsibility? Most important is the finance. How important is your finance? You know, how much of it are you contributing, which is helping to put food on the table?
Correct.
So unless you are clear with all these things, taking up any development program is of no use. First, put the basics right.
200%.
First, put the basics right, and then choose. Okay, now I have decided. I was really shocked when I met a lady who was very passionate about being in cybersecurity. She said there are very little or few women in cybersecurity, and I want to make a mark in her. She did a lot of things. When she got this clarity, she decided I want to be in cybersecurity. Then she took up one after another course, and today she is leading a team of 40 people under her, and all 40 are men. So it is because she is clear, has that knowledge, she has that skill set. Her mindset is very clear that I want to be a leader in cybersecurity.
Okay.
So she built the relevant skill sets. Now her skill set and mindset gives her the energy to perform as needed.
Fantastic. I mean, that is a clear roadmap. I think you have given a skeleton towards how we have to take one step ahead so that everything aligns to it. Because women's decision may not be a single choice of decision; it will be aligned with the family only.
Right.
But before that, we should have a correct roadmap on what we want to achieve, what we want from the market, and aligning to those kind of structure. I think it's a beautiful template which you have given to the audience. So, in your opinion, looking at the companies and corporates, what do you think they should adopt or make some changes in the entire program so that women can get into the leadership kind of a role?
See, once you identify your basics, you put yourself, okay, I want to be in cyber. You identify that. Now choose which company you want to be in. Which are the top 10 companies that I would like to work with? What is it that is happening there? How does my role fit in there? What level can I move in there? Based on that, those gaps that you have identified, now build your skills. Now build your skills so you are that company ready. Your skill is a perfect fit. Like a puzzle, it's a perfect fit. And there you have the opportunity to leverage your knowledge, your skill, and you are able to perform there. So that's
fantastic. No, that's what my query was slightly on the opposite side. Like what companies has to do so that people have the flexibility to get into these kind of leadership roles.
Honestly,
what is your suggestion to the companies?
Honestly, Kumar, companies have so much opportunity. If not me, they'll pick someone else, right? So for them,
Right.
it is a floodgate. Like, everything is available. If
Mm.
not me, they can pick someone else.
Correct. Correct.
So I have to put myself in a position that they feel, no, if not her, I can't pick anyone else. I have to enable myself that I am that company ready, that position ready. And so it is not just building the skill set, it is becoming that position. If I want to be a director at this position in this company, then I have to think, behave, act like that before I reach there.
True.
Unless that happens, I will not be able to send that energy that when you are asking me questions, I will not be able to answer those things. I'm still, I'm still
Correct.
in the preparation mode. I have not become that role. But still I'm in the preparation mode. Okay, I learned this. Theoretically, I'm good, I'm sound. But practically, I don't know how I'll take this role. And we all know that we are surrounded by so many different roles. So a person giving me that responsibility in that leadership position, unless that person sees me capable enough that I can take this position without any hassle, like, it should not be. Now just imagine if there is a bank and I say that I am the manager of this bank, but my child is having board exams, so 1 month the bank will be closed. Will it work?
Okay.
Right. So I have to be with that because see, year ending and my child's exam will come simultaneously. Right. So I cannot shift the exam or I cannot shift the year ending. I have to shift myself.
Right.
So if I am that ready, only then those leadership roles I will be able to do justice. So whichever company, whichever skill, whichever field, anything you choose, if you are ready, everything will fall in place. You see Indra Nui. You see any of her interview, she'll tell my family was my biggest support. Everything else is secondary. She says, even at this day, it is my family. The moment I go home, my mother treats me like a daughter. She will not treat me as a person who is a senior role. You look at the interviews of these people who have made it to that position. You understand, you'll have to be so grounded. You have to be grounded, but still able to perform at that position.
Fantastic.
So if you are only clear what I can bring to the table, how much I'm willing to give, only then you can be there.
Fantastic.
It is not just because everyone else is doing, everyone is doing Jira, let me do it. Everyone is doing Azure, let me do it. Everyone is doing this, let me do it. Don't build certifications like that. If it aligns with you, do those training. If it does not, don't do it. Find what aligns. You have online, offline, so many short-term courses, long-term courses. Based on your skill you want to develop, work towards it. Because
so I think so it starts from you rather than the company's limitation, challenges, COVID, layoff, everything aside, your choice, what is your initiating proactively that aligns to whatever resources you're getting, right? So that is a way which works better. Okay, one final concluding remarks would be like you could have worked in an office setup and then you moved on to your entrepreneurship journey and all that. So what is a kind of, I mean, now you have given a very clarity roadmap to all the audience out there where they have been struggling to get into a question whether I do this certification, that certification, but you made one more step prequel of it, the stating that, okay, what you need based on that, the entire structure will create.
Yes.
So what was the one decision which you've taken in your career, maybe at a business, maybe at a job, like it made like, okay, this is a wise choice I've ever made, and what is a suggestion you want to give to the audience?
See, the biggest choice is it's all on you. Where there will be times where there is a lot of ruffle outside you. People might not support you. They will not believe in what you are thinking. But if you know within yourself, especially when I started this journey of being a resilience coach, it was nobody supported me. It was who wants to talk about mental health. Even today, India is not ready to talk about mental health. To talk about stress, to burnout, they're not ready. But I stuck to it. It was difficult. It is difficult. Even to this day, it's not that everything has become smooth sailing. But I stood by it because I understood how much impact it has. So unless you are confident and clear about it, things will happen on the outside. If you are confident confident and clear, you will be able to hold on to that point, hold on to that issue that you want to tackle. If you are not clear, you will get influenced by others. They'll say, leave this, do that. You will get influenced, you will go. So you have to be very
True.
what I am doing, is it right for my life or not? It's all about my life. It's not about anyone's life. I am creating my life. That's it. Any role, any designation, any certification, any training, it's all about my life and the impact it has in my life, people around me, be it at home or at colleagues. So it all narrows down to that, and hold on to it. Have that patience. I see that people start losing patience.
And also consistency. Whatever you're doing, consistently do it. Even if there is no response or nothing comes from the outside world, the consistency makes a lot of sense in terms of growth.
And if you don't stand by yourself, if you don't stand with yourself, nobody else will. Because it's your choice, your desire, your dream, your goal. So nobody is liable to stand by my goal or my desire. If I don't stand by it, no one else will. They have their own plans. Everyone has their own plans for your life. If you don't create your own plan for your life, no one else will create. Right. So that is
fantastic. So thank you so much for joining from a city called Bangalore. You made it a point this session and wanted to audience. It made a lot of sense in terms of skeleton, making us a skeleton on the most important factor will not doing a self rejection. Made a lot of sense. I think there are a lot of things to talk about with the time restriction and other pattern of which we are doing. We'll have more conversation in the
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So okay. Some reason it's not working. Okay. But let me check.
Hey, hi, Kumar. Can you hear me now? It's better?
Just a second, there is a technical.
Okay.
So Sampath, are you okay to speak right now? Are you in a good position?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Can you hear me?
So give me a minute. I'll just.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So we were talking about the networking opportunities, but before that, you can introduce yourself one more time on what do you do, what kind of background you have, all that. So then we will go on to the topic. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Kumar. Thanks for choosing me as one of the panelists here. Like I was mentioning that I'm the only male panel talking about women empowerment and all of that. Right. So Sunday is very important for every one of us. Like apart from your Monday to Friday works, we intend to spend time with family and friends. But I don't spend much time with family, but I always spend time doing networking and all of that. I've been doing it for last 12 years, started since 2012 till today. So networking is something. It's a very powerful tool, right? And it's a powerful weapon than a AI that I always say to everyone, right? Even ChatGPT will not help you, but networking is a super tool than any AI platform that we have as on today that we are talking about, right? Though it minimize your work and all of that, but networking is something that is a personal connect that I have believed back in 2012 onwards. Right, I have 12 years of my corporate experience. I was there in HR and TA space. My last designation was in talent acquisition assistant manager. I had managed big portfolios, big team size, worked with big companies. Right, the last 2 years, apart from my full time, I do a lot of freelancing work. How I've started doing it is just because of networking. Right, so networking is something. It's a very powerful, like I said. Right, I get projects just word of mouth. I don't advertise about myself all the time on my LinkedIn page or on my WhatsApp and other communities, right? It only happens through a networking. So it's such a powerful tool uh, that we have, and we should call it out as a networking, right?
Yeah.
So
So for especially for women, for men, it's okay. We go offline, go on a Sunday evening. All that is fine. But for women, what do you think is the barriers in terms of professional networking? Is there anything which you have
the
seen during your
uh,
experience?
the barrier, I haven't seen any barrier as such, to be very honest, at least at a metropolitan cities that I've managed a lot of network events across Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, and other major cities. The only challenges or the barriers is only from the tier 2 and tier 3 cities that I can specifically call out. Reason being is they don't know what is all about networking, right?
Correct.
People think that networking is just for a hangout, which is absolutely wrong, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if I want to compare the one of the group that I'm part of, where we done a networking event back in 2024 during November, it is tier 2 city in Karnataka. The footfall was very less. Then we started analyzing what was the reason behind it, right? So though are in a digital era, so where whatever we want to know, it's all there in just one click. But however, the adoption at tier 2 and tier 3 cities are very less compared to metro cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, right, in metro cities like Bangalore, I see most of the population are women than men. Agree or
Mm-hmm.
disagree? I have seen
Mm-hmm.
the major contributions footfalls are from women's side, not from the men's side, right? So
Mm-hmm.
networking is something the awareness has to create from their college itself. Especially people are
Okay.
looking to build a career in major cities, right? So these networking events should expand the wings, including you, not just within the major cities. It also expand various other places in India. So geographically,
Mm-hmm.
India is the largest landscape that we have it, but we are only limited to a certain specific regions or the geography, right? When we
Mm-hmm.
as we expand it, people will also try to know what exactly is networking, how we can get benefit out of it is something they will get awareness about it. So awareness is something that on the networking side has to be there, and people should also start writing about networking events, what they have gained it. I always say people, if you have attended for any one of the events, please write something on your LinkedIn page or in your other social media platforms so that your audience will also get inspired, also can try to join in next sessions, right? That is very, very, very important. If somebody doesn't know the objective, for example, today, even that you're doing, if I don't know the objective and I may not show interest, unless until there's an
Mm-hmm.
objective, there's a motive behind it, and people will show interest towards it, right?
Correct.
So specifically for a woman, there are a lot of restrictions right from their birth, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not uh, at a specific age or a specific time. That starts from within your family. The time you see, there's a birth, child, the girl child is born in your family. That's the restrictions, start from there, and that keeps on
Mm-hmm.
going, and it build up to at an extent after their career. I mean, after their education background, and they will hesitate to talk to a stranger, right? Because
Yeah, Sampath, I
they
want
might
to
have
go
become
to a different dimension. Different dimension on this particular topic because the challenges is something there where two problems can arise. One, as you said, lack of awareness on why business networking. Okay, I don't need, so I'm not going. Okay. And second thing is in business networking, when we go, we might go with the assumption, okay, this is the purpose of networking. But after meeting 100 people, I'm not even benefited out of it. Okay, so when a woman is going for a networking, what should be the intention and expectation in your opinion?
See, the intention should be very clear, right? If I'm attending something, I should definitely get benefit out of it, right?
Hmm.
And it's very important, right? Say, for example, if a woman is looking out for a job, right? Somebody in a
Hmm.
talent acquisition and human resource space. So there are a lot of events that happens in and around Bangalore, right? For
Hmm.
example, TSOW, Slack, they do every month. I am a recruiter, community does every month that we often meet at every month, Kaban Park at 7:30 in the morning, right? I
Hmm.
am a recruiter is another TA and HR community. They do a lot of events, right? You should, the first thing, first and foremost is, say, for example, if a woman is looking for a flexible work, right?
Hmm.
I would suggest to join this community,
Hmm.
be active, attend the sessions, and gain the knowledge,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So somebody to restart a career, I think they might have lost touch. They might have lost a lot of topics around it. Say, for example, now there's a lot of AI, you know, that we're all, imbibed in our body. That every task that we wanted to perform, we use any AI tool, which a woman
Hmm.
would have not used because of the gap due to the reasons.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right. If you attend such events, you will a lot of things so that you can implement those and you can also strongly showcase in your resume. Right. I'll talk about my personal experience. Right. There are a lot of women due to the family constraint, so they're not working as a full-time employee. Right. I have given a lot of my freelancing stuff as a bits and pieces based on their expertise,
Hmm. Hmm.
based
Hmm.
on their
Hmm. Hmm.
time, comfort zone. They are getting work from my end. So I always
True. True.
support for
Hmm.
a woman and I always give them employment. So not
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
necessarily women should be in a full time in any corporate. Not necessary. You can be an individual. You can prove what you are, and you can do different than another.
True.
Right. So for example, so I do a lot of LinkedIn optimization. I manage a lot of senior leaders, their LinkedIn pages where we manage their networking. We post behalf of them, and we also work with a lot of startup founders where we place HR policies and other policies to them. Right? If you look at my team is around or about seven out of seven, I have six women working remotely. Right? So at first instance, I told them about a lot of networking groups that I manage. They hesitate to join it because of XYZ factors. Then I said, this group gives you this information, knowledge, and work to you. So when you clearly call out the purpose, and then people will join. I said, you be active or not, you respond to messages or anything, that's fine. Please read the messages that people are posting about any topic on the HR and TA space. Now,
Okay.
if not today, the topic will really help you out down the line in your career,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So
True.
networking has that kind of scope and importance, which will really build your career, right? People are
Hmm.
also
Hmm. Hmm.
mentioning about a lot of mentorship is required, right? The past speakers are also talking about it. So you get a lot of mentorship assistance when you meet people, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
One thing is directly you can go and connect people, add their LinkedIn, get connected on spot, and you can talk about your experience and you can talk about your expertise, and they will also talk about their personal experience and their personal challenges. If they know how you work, you can talk about it,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? It
Hmm.
is all about you know knowledge gathering and sharing of knowledge. That's very, very
Hmm.
important, right? That's how you can
Hmm.
shape your career in a better way. So I mean, you
Right.
cannot sit at an one desk. My job is just to do 9 to 6. Somebody also call out that a woman and always gonna support. Why not? You can progress yourself in a better way. If you want to become a better person in the market than the rest of the world, I think this network communities will really give you a good shape to your career.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. So one final concluding aspect is, so like what, say, comparing to men, they will have a lot of responsibilities on a Saturday and Sunday, looking at the family, all that. So maybe even though if I'm intended to go, my time may not be flexible for me. So in terms of women who have time constraints, family limitations, and all that, what do you suggest to those people? Is it meeting online would be okay, or LinkedIn networking will be okay? What do you suggest?
Okay, see, compared to men, women will have a lot of family restrictions, responsibility, and all of that, which is an 100% true. We cannot deny about it, right? So, what I been suggesting to a woman, right? At least take out some time for yourself. That will build your career, for your development, and for your learning. So, what I always suggest is take 30 to 60 minutes of your time in a week. Okay, so think about what exactly you want to do. Connect with a lot of communities in your space, right? Join the online sessions possible. If there are any possible events that is happening in and around 5-6 kilometers in our radius, I would suggest to go there. Meet a lot of people. Have your card with your card and give it to them and talk about your experience and expertise. If not today and tomorrow down the line, they will approach you for their work, right?
Correct.
That's where the collaboration happens. So start with a very small WhatsApp group. There are a lot of groups on Telegram also. Join there, read some articles, join there, share your opinions, and refer to your friends, not just limited yourself, right? So don't be so selfish as well. I always say to people. So especially when you're in a networking and a community group, I always say it is not just it should be we as a community, right? You should also pass on this information. You should also bring a lot of your colleagues and your friends and all of them to join this community to bring a certain shape to your career life. So they can start doing it. And also a lot of TSOW does every 3-4 events online every week. They they talk about many HR trends that are happening, the AI tools and all of that. You can join and you can learn, and also you get a certificate out of it. The participation certificates, which you can highlight in your LinkedIn as well as in your resume.
Okay.
Right? Not necessarily all the time it is mandated to punch in and punch out. No. This community it gives you a lot of independence, freedom, no bias, no hierarchy, nothing as such. It's a very
Correct.
open forum, right? You can go make great talk. The advantage, any presence, if you go, you can meet a lot of leaders, somebody at the C level or V level. Go talk to them, no harm. Nobody will gonna trust it. Whereas in your professional life, people may give you a lot of hindrance. Why are you doing this? Right. So
Correct.
in networking and all, it is all freedom. You have a right to speak. You have a right to learn things. You have a right to speak about them. Right. Sonali also mentioned that somebody also took her opinion and the entire forums, appreciating the other person, which is wrong. Whereas in the communities will appreciate your efforts, they will appreciate your thoughts and processes. That gives a lot of significant changes and improvements, so that you can talk more and you can deep dive and do a lot of research about it and come for the solution.
True.
Right?
Makes
Nobody
sense.
judge on your color, dressing, anything. It's absolutely a free forum, hassle free. If it is a lame, uh, you know, topic that you spoke, which is not relevant, also people will not judge you on that. That's the power of the communities in the market right now.
Yeah, I met you. I think you have given a clear differentiation between a corporate culture of priority hierarchy rather than looking at how business networking functions, because there in business function, I mean business networking, it is all equal, wherein we can share our voice. The proactiveness makes a lot of sense. What knowledge we are bringing, what new initiative where we are taking, there is no limit to it, right? So I think
Correct.
that's where we'll have to work on to the space, rather than office kind of a mindset where okay, somebody will give a job, I will do it, kind of, so
Correct.
I think that's proactiveness is very much required. I think beautifully put it up in terms of networking for women, because at this juncture we have to meet more and more people, because when we are in a 9 to 6 job, like both for men and women, we don't do a lot of networking. It is all our family, colleagues, and friends, which ends like 100 people in our network. But when we are going ahead with these kind of things only, when we are getting stuck, like a lot of people put their aspects in LinkedIn, okay, I got laid off, job cuts, can you help me? When somebody is not familiar with you, how can they help you?
Correct.
Okay,
See,
so that's the area which we've been always suggesting. So there are a lot of things to talk, but in the interest of time, I'll just moving on to the next session. But definitely looking forward for the more conversation. So thank you for
thanks.
making an effort to going to a cafe and join with us. There are a lot of
No
technical
problem.
difficulties, but it shows your networking ability on how you make up things right at every stage. So thank you so much for joining and putting this effort. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kumar. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So we spoke about multiple dimensions, multiple areas of concerns, barriers, and proactiveness, which is required from a woman, all that. So we will be going with the final speaker for the day today, wherein we will talk about societal expectations and stereotypes. So though there is limitations from company policies or family situations, all that is one area of concern. But societal expectations, societal showcasing is also something which is a limiting factor for women. So in that note, I would like to invite Ruth Priyadarshini joining us from Chennai. Like, just want to know what you do, what is your career background, and from there we will start the conversation.
Okay. So, hi everyone. Good afternoon. And it was a great time listening to others as well. And my name is Ruth, and I work with a company called Bounteous. It's a US IT services organization. And previously, I was working with other domains as well. I am a complete talent acquisition specialist, and I work with domains like oil and gas, engineering, manufacturing, finance as well. So, in terms of domains, I'm versatile with domains as well. Yeah. That's a very short introduction about me.
Thank you, thank you. So we are talking about the societal expectations. So in terms of other limitations, somehow we are managing. But what do you think about the societal expectations, which is limiting a women's career all over the globe in terms of those things? What is your thought process on that?
Okay, so I will cover the points that has not been covered much in Kumar, like as other speakers have told. Women are expected to come back home. There's a question like my mom asked me when I go to office, what time you will come back? But is that is not
Yes.
expected out of a man. So what time
Yes.
you come back, and majorly you have to plan your schedule according to your family. Uh,
Mm.
Completely you'll have to, there is certain times that you will have to think like what is the need for me and what is the need for my corporate hierarchy. What will I do in that case? Certain times there is a where for example, when the person is not married, they would ask you why, when are you planning to get married. So that is the first question you get, in an interview call. So if you're married, they ask you, when are you planning your pregnancy? So the next question, will you have a
Mm.
second child? So questions rise up again and again. So that is how it works well. And the invisible
I think some technical difficulty. I think we lost Priyadarshini there. Let me check.
Me?
Yeah, yeah. So there is slight technical difference. Okay. Yeah, go on.
Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to reiterate a term called as glass ceiling, where the organization knows that the woman is, more capable and more potential, but still they would not, uh, allow the woman to progress in a corporate ladder. So they would easily, give an invisible bias saying that, hey, you have a sick parent, you have a kid to take care of, you need to plan your family. You need to, it will not be possible for you to work on late shifts. So that is the shift that is happening in the corporate, ladder, where they are not allowed to move on to the next part of their career. So the progress for a woman is taking a lot of time than men.
So, I mean, by default, we have the mentality, okay, women cannot do certain things, like as you said, glass ceiling, where we ourselves, society itself, like think, okay, she may not be doing traveling, she may not be doing a night shift, she may not go to client and
Exactly.
talk, all this is a by default element which is ceilings. Okay. So, in
Yeah.
your talent acquisition space, there is typically a multi-aligned stakeholder client relationship and multiple other areas. So what areas you got some barriers, and what do you suggest to your juniors that these are all things will be a societal expectation, and how you can cross them?
So, major barriers for women generally, Kumar, they will not allow you for shifts. They will say, hey, you, as I told you, you have a family to take care of. So, in talent acquisition, the basic barriers is, more of if you work with US IT clients or Canadian based clients, there will be time challenges. You will not be able to work in weekends, certain times for extra projects that is allocated. And women generally, they assume things, that women cannot, but they can. So assumption is something that is, taking a wide step. And something, there is something called as somebody else decides for you. So
Mm-hmm.
if it's a man, he decides his own schedule, he owns his time. But if for a woman, she depends on the whole family, the whole setup she is in. So that is something really challenging, and that is still happening.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, in
So
your areas, like what is the strategies which you have applied, or you suggested family people or colleagues that these are all assumptions. So, any steps you have taken to avoid this kind of things?
okay, certain strategies is simple, Kumar. Be your own cheerleader. I follow that method. So nobody is going to cheer for you. You tend to see other people cheering for you, but certain areas is like they don't cheer for you at. Especially in the corporate environment that you work for, they say yes, you do well, but they have a different schedule that happens. So be your own cheerleader, cheer for others. That is something really important that you will have to follow. Communicate with collaboration, and not with someone who is against collaboration. Communicate with collaboration. That is where it will help you move to the next ladder, and start working together. So you will build a sense of emotional intelligence, empathy, and women need to think equal, women and men. So it's not like it's a hierarchy that you follow. So men and women are equal.
Right. So one
So
final question
yeah.
will be: so though society is giving a lot of expectations, society is also inspiring with a lot of women leaders. Like somebody spoke about Indra
Mm,
Nooyi, somebody spoke about Priyanka
right.
Chopra. So what kind of a role models has to be taken from a women's perspective? Okay, so this lady has done this beyond certain limitations. So there is a example they are setting up, okay, benchmark they are setting up. So that becomes a role model, right? So how these kind of people can inspire you, and what is the key lessons or key insights you have taken from these kind of people who have crossed the limitations, and what is the inspiration which people who are on that area has to take up this? So any ideas, and who is your inspiration to get into your own career?
Okay. So, Kumar, we may avoid this topic of women coming from, broken families or single mothers or, people who live alone. But there is a sense of topic that I'll have to cover here. So I have been following a person called Malavika Krishna. Malavika Krishna is no one else, but she is the owner of CCD now, where previously Cafe Coffee Day, as we know, it's Cafe Coffee Day, and her spouse Siddhartha, he committed suicide and is no more now. So, with a huge loss in the business, losing a spouse, she took over the business, and she is one great leader that I will see who has balanced the community, striving back to the society, looking at the business of how she can bring a revenue. Now CCD's consolidated income, I will say 1,125 crores to be precise. So, turning an industry from a loss to a profit gaining industry within a span of 4 to 5 years is completely impossible, is what trade holders, stockholders, market holders would say. But she has proved that losing everything, starting from scratch again, yes, it will work out only when you start believing in yourself. With the right mentorship, and I always tell women should support women, men should support women. There should be a spirit of equality. There should not be like a system of hierarchy. Man is more than women, or women is more than man. So it's a sense of equality. Also, we need to encourage women coming from a career break. For example, you take Malvika. I doubt if she was previously in the business. But she took over the business. She had her own strategies, came back with flying colors. So have a supporting network, get right mentorship in your career and advance as well.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I mean, what areas inspired you from this leaders? That will be the final question for you. Then we will invite all the other panel members for the key insights. So
Sure.
you have named Malavika, and other people have named Priyanka and Indra Nui and all that. What is the one factor which inspires, and what people has to take from them?
Starting from scratch, Kumar, wherever you are, don't be afraid to start from scratch.
Okay.
Start boldly. And I have mentioned a word called as be your own cheerleader. You will be your own cheerleader. Have your own strategies. Plan for yourself. At certain points, you might lose out on yourself. Planning your schedule with others. So be self-dependent. Be dependent on yourself first. So when you're happy, you will make others happy. So this is what I have learned. So this is the learning curve that
Super.
I've got.
Fantastic, fantastic. So thank you so much, and we've been very patiently from 10:30 to 1:30. It has been 3 hours. You've been patiently waiting. So thank you for that. And I'll just bring other panel members to the final concluding remarks. Let me open all their
Sure.
videos. Yeah. So yes. So we have a couple of panel members here, and it's okay that the other panel members have spending their time. So I'll start from Dr. Kirti. What is your final concluding remarks? We'll give 60 seconds to each to give your consolidated final remarks, concluding remarks to the audience. Go with it. Yeah, Dr. Kirti.
Thank you, Kumar. This is a wonderful opportunity to be a panelist on talking about the strategies where the women need to empower, and also the pain point in the travel or the journey of the empowerment. and it's privilege to share the insights and contributes on this important discussion. Even though the statistics that you read, in the starting of the session, like 2% of the leadership on the C-suite level, just gave us like 95% in this forum by all women being together and upholding with one man of Sampath. So I've been so delighted and grateful for this wonderful opportunity. So as we mentioned earlier, so the pain point, if the family members of society and workplace environment, men would able to understand us and willfully accept the responsibilities and give us some space for to grow along with you. We are just liking to compliment to you, not to be like a no a competitor, being a competitor of you. Never been into, even in the family and also in the society and in the workplace. So with that note, I really thank all my fellow panelists also being a part of this and cheering one another.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sonali, your turn. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, to all the women who are watching us, I just say that we don't need to become another man in the organization. Every woman brings her own strength, right? Very recently, I was talking to my therapist, and we figured that I have a man brain also. So, I think sometimes like a man, and I forget that I am my own individual person, and I don't have to compete with other men and try to overpower them. Like Dr. Kirti mentioned that we're here to complement and we're here to become allies of each other. We don't need to constantly be in competition with one another. So bring your authentic self to the workplace. And I absolutely second what Geetika was also saying, that we need to think in terms of PNL as well, not just operational supportive roles. Let's think for the business. Let's think how we can move the needle forward. And just like majority of the households are run by women, so if you bring that flavor to the workforce, not in terms of nurturing and always being the one to cut the cake and organize parties. We want to see real change. So, be your biggest cheerleader as well. So, thank you so much again, Kumar, for enabling this conversation. And all my fellow panelists, it was a pleasure listening to you.
Thank you so much, Sonali. And moving on to Geetika.
Uh, Thank you, Kumar, for this opportunity. And I think as a group of women panelists, majorly, we have covered everything on this planet Earth, what we can do. It is just that we know where we have to go, where we have to reach, whether it's a professional journey or a personal journey. If you just take that authority on yourself that this is what it is and this is what it takes, then let's take the charge for ourselves. We do a lot more and beyond for others in our lives, and I wish we can become more serious for ourselves, and not being a back end always, whether that's home or office. That just push the pedal and then take your journey and then go ahead and you will enjoy it. You will make a lot of mistakes and there will be a lot of struggles, and I think we even struggle when we are at the back end, but trust yourself in the process. And likewise, Sonali also said storytelling is something which is an art, and learn that. It will help you in your journey. And don't afraid to make mistakes in life. It is really really important to make mistakes and learn from them. And that's a short things which I've learned from my 15-16 years of experience. So thank you so much, Kumar, for bringing up this question. Basically all these questions, they were so important to basically asked about. And I'm so glad to have so many like-minded panelists with me, where we agree on a lot of things, not only points, a lot of things which we need to do and where we need to go. So thank you. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Moving on to Bhairavi, you are 60 seconds.
Yeah, first of all, thanks and for initiating a topic like this. And each panelist gave their core, their experience. They just served it on a platter. Just make best use of it. So for me, it would be, if you believe in yourself, you can do it. You don't need any man to give you an opportunity. Don't look for external validation. First, validate yourself that you can do it. If you do it, if you believe in yourself, the rest will follow in place. No, energy always follows thought. So if you don't believe it, you will not show it. However qualified or overqualified you are, believe in yourself and it will show up. First, validate yourself.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ruth Priyadashini, yeah, final thoughts.
Yeah, I just want to quote something here. There is a saying called clear skies don't make a great pilot, and smooth seas don't make great sailors. So, expect a turbulence, expect a thunderstorm. So, this is what we do as women on daily basis also. So, with that, I would like to conclude, and all the very best to my co panelists as well.
Thank you, Sonke. So as we wrap up, the key insights are very clear. So the ladder exists, career advancement is exists, but the runs are uneven. So that's practically. And women in leadership are like multifaceted challenges when they are facing. And we were able to quote in last 3 years only three people: Priyanka, Malavika, and Indra Nui. So there has to be a lot of more people has to come up, and I think this can be a base where tomorrow you can become somebody's quote, like, okay, I have met Sonali and I did this, I met Ruth Priyadarshini, I met Dr. Kirti, I met Bhairavi Rajesh, I met Geetika. That is the level we have to scale up, and this could be the starting point where we can see that changes. So it is all more towards the proactiveness which comes from within, like the self-rejection has to be avoided, because this is what we've been seeing on multiple areas where even if the opportunity is given, the self-rejection plays a predominant role in our mindset. That's one thing. Then networking, mentorship, corporate accountabilities. Either corporate means both in jobs and business, the accountabilities, somebody rightly, uniquely valued, like P&L aspect is the accountability which we have to take. And from corporate society, companies and all that, the expectations, adoption, reformation has to happen, so that we will wait for the changes wherein this can be one shout out for those kind of areas of concerns. So thank you so much for investing your time on a Sunday, and being a woman, you might have a lot of responsibilities which will be calling on a Sunday, but thank you so much for joining us and giving a key insights, and all the best for your future career. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah.